Hello, this is Dennis Carr with another edition of Forex Focus. The first full trading week of 2009 packed a fair old punch, and US jobs data were the main market movers. Sterling surprised by posting weekly gains against all the majors. The dollar opened the week by strengthening sharply against the euro. This rise was fueled by President-elect Barack Obama, who called on Congress to act quickly to pass his $775 billion fiscal stimulus plan. The plan will include a $300 billion tax cut package, which could go some way to softening Republican resistance. Tuesday morning saw Eurozone consumer inflation come in lower than expected, giving the ECB more room to cut interest rates on January the 15th. And the euro continued south. It tested 133.50 at midday, and this proved to be the pair's low of the week as US economic data prompted a complete about turn. The misery continues in the US housing sector as pending home sales slumped another 4% in November, while over in the manufacturing sector, factory orders plunged 4.6%. The FOMC meeting minutes, which were released later on Tuesday, did nothing to relieve the gloom, with predictions of a fall in GDP for 2009 and rising unemployment through to 2010. The euro rose to test 135 as Tuesday ended and pushed through to 136 as the European session opened on Wednesday morning. It powered on to 137 as reports that the US private sector had shed 693,000 jobs in December, much worse than expected. Thursday's US job numbers saw the new unemployment claims come in lower than expected. However, this was explained as being caused by people holding back applications because of the holidays. The news that the number of US jobless had hit a 26-year high raised concerns that Friday's non-farm payrolls could hit 700,000 plus, and the euro rose to tip 138. Friday saw the NFP actually survey in line with expectations, well short of the market's fears, and the dollar soared, pushing the euro down to close the week at 134.29. The pound saw gains across the board, including its biggest weekly rise against the euro in 10 years. On Tuesday, UK services surprised by ticking higher in December, but still marked the 8th consecutive month of contraction and ended the worst year for the service sector since records began 12 years ago. The pound had just fallen back to test support at 145 when those discouraging US numbers gave sterling a boost. The week's key sterling event came on Thursday when the Bank of England cut interest rates by the widely anticipated 50 basis points. The pound rose on the news and tested 153.50. Friday morning's news that UK manufacturing production fell 2.9% in December to make 2008 the worst year since the bad old days of 1981 had little effect on the pound, which rose through the European session to test 153.50 once more. US non-farm saw the pair slip down to around 151.50 and cable closed the week at 151.65. The yen saw steady gains against the greenback as investors became more risk-averse. Notice how dollar-yen almost tracks the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The pair closed the week at 90.22, a tad above the key psychological level of 90. This week's important US data includes producer price inflation numbers on Thursday and consumer prices on Friday. US manufacturing activity will be surveyed for New York State on Thursday, and on Friday we have industrial production for the states as a whole. Unemployment is a growing concern around the world at the moment, so you should pay careful attention to Thursday's unemployment claims. This could be higher than expected if people were holding off registering as unemployed over the holidays, as was suggested. Wednesday's retail sales and Friday's consumer sentiment could also move the market. The highlight of the week will undoubtedly be the ECB's interest rate announcement. A cut of 50 basis points is widely expected, and remember, the follow-up press conference often causes high volatility. Jean-Claude Trichet has a couple of public speaking engagements in the run-up to Thursday. There's also European industrial production on Wednesday and consumer prices on Thursday morning. The UK sees retail sales and housing data released in the early hours of Tuesday morning. The Deputy Governor of the Bank of England will be speaking in Manchester on Friday. The Governor of the Bank of Japan will also be speaking on Friday. I see euro-dollar finding resistance at 135.50 and support at 132.50, with further downside action to 123.30 possibility in the near future. Sterling dollar still looks pretty range bound and should move between 153.50 down to 145. Dollar yen should encounter support at 87.50 and resistance at 91.50. Well, that just about wraps things up. I do hope you've enjoyed this week's edition of Forex Focus. If you have a moment, please take a look at my blogs. There's the blog to Forex Focus, the detail is up on the screen, and there's also Colt on Candles, which gives a more technical perspective to the Forex markets. It's currently running a success rate of 13%. All that remains for me now to say is have an excellent week. Take care, and I hope to see you next week. Goodbye.